Once again, we're with Superintendent of West New York Schools, John Fauta. So, Mr. Fauta, this is the second meeting in a row, if I'm not mistaken, where the vote for the vice president was a tie. So could you just tell me what happens next?
Okay, what happens, John, per statute, what happens now after a second vote, which took place tonight, fell in a tie, it now goes to the county superintendent, Monica Tone, to decide. But she'll decide what the next step is, where ultimately she could choose. But what I plan to do tomorrow, I'm going to give her a call on behalf of the board secretary and myself. Now that we chose a seventh board member, now we have a tiebreaker. So I'm going to ask if we can revisit that vote and vote again at the next meeting, because now we have the odd number, so there is a tiebreaker. But ultimately, per statute, she can choose after turn down where we didn't choose somebody. She can choose, but we're going to suggest, if it's allowed, to have the vote taken over again, because now we have a seventh board member.
With that being said, would it have been a possibility, hindsight's always 20/20, but to appoint the new member first and then take the vote?
I guess that's a question that we'd have to reserve for the board secretary. I'm not too sure, but I don't want to go on a limb and answer that. But, you make sense, but at the same time, I don't know if procedurally we were allowed to do that, because he couldn't really rule on any of the other agenda items, hirings and so forth and so forth.
Okay.
And the agenda was already established, so that's why we didn't give him a board package, because we didn't know who that member would be.
All right, that makes sense. Well, thanks for clearing that up, Mr. Fauta. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Thank you, John. Always